What if the stars were never meant to predict your future? What if they've always been inviting you to understand yourself? This is Remember Who You Are with Lexi Forbes. Let's begin. So this Leo season has been really tough for me. I've been experiencing a lot of shadow moments and feeling lost and out of my body and completely out of touch with myself. I have felt disconnected and spiritually unmotivated. I told my best friend I felt like I was tripping in the dark. And I knew that when that feeling happens, there's a reason behind it. I recognize those moments as an opportunity for me to uncover what sometimes can't be seen in the light. So I've been really patient with myself sometimes and with the process. Instead of working, I've been sleeping. I closed off my calendars so people couldn't book sessions with me. And I just started focusing on my mental and spiritual health. Instead of forcing myself to be creative, I allowed myself to just be a puddle of nothing without expecting much more. I didn't drown out my thoughts with TV or even books. Instead, I've been spending my days crying, journaling, sleeping in, moving my body in ways that it wanted to. I've danced slowly. I've walked without an intention, just walking. I've spent days having no plan, just being. And then somewhere in that moment, I realized that my identity was shifting from one of performance to something else. I didn't know exactly what the outcome was going to become. And to be honest, I'm still unfolding it for myself right now, but I do know that the person I was before Leo season began, that person is not the same woman that I'm now birthing in real time. So I've just been exploring, like, who am I and what do I want? And over time, I've realized that as much as I love to spend time with people, the more time I was spending with them, I was becoming more and more of who they needed me to be and what they expected from me rather than who I really wanted to be. And that was the performing part. I was trying to make people feel comfortable, to feel safe and feel valid in my presence. And as an astrologer, that's something that I do often. I often validate people's dreams. I give them clarity when they feel confused, and even permission to be themselves when the world tells them that it's not safe. I even looked at it as like my gift. It was my job to provide that kind of love and support to my clients, to my family, to my friends, and sometimes even just strangers that I saw in the store. But I'm realizing now that I was doing that because I was trying to create the thing that I needed. And the truth is, I can't give anyone permission or validation or anything. Only they can truly find that within themselves. And the beauty in realizing that is that it means so can I. I can give myself the permission and the validation and the safety. Not my friends, not my clients, not my audience, or even my parents, my family. Every day we are told to become better than who we were yesterday. And although I think that that's a beautiful message and that it does have its place, I also think that striving to be quote unquote better all the time can leave you on the hamster wheel of self-actualization, where you're constantly chasing rather than being a human. And it's no coincidence that tomorrow, the solar eclipse in Leo is happening on August 12th at around 12:30 Central Standard Time. And I'm a Leo moon, so this really feels personal. Leo always asks us to be bold, to be authentically ourselves, and to truly let our real identity be seen. Leo energy asks us to protect our creativity, to protect our vision, our mission, our dreams. And this particular transit is even more powerful because it's a solar eclipse. So I realize that I'm being invited to remove anything that is standing in my way, that is blocking me from showing up in the fierce, bold, loud, authentic, embodied way that only I can show up. And because of that, that's how this podcast was birthed. Not that I knew it, but it's interesting because when Mercury also went into Leo, all of a sudden, I found myself with a message, something to say, when I haven't had anything to say for a while. Most of my life, I felt like I had to make other people feel something that I was actually looking for. And so without knowing it, I performed my way into the hearts of the people who loved me. But I wasn't fully showing up as me, the version of myself that didn't need to prove my worth or prove that I was the safety that they were looking for so they could be the safety that I was looking for. And I think that this eclipse is revealing that underneath all of those expectations, blocking my view, is the woman who doesn't need to perform and doesn't need to entertain anyone, doesn't need to be palatable or digestible to be worthy or to be seen or to be loved or to be taken seriously. And so this podcast is more than just an astrology show. It's not going to be about, well, what does this transit mean? Or can you tell me what it means to be a Virgo sun with a Cancer moon? I'm sure that we'll probably touch on those types of topics because that's my vibe. That's what I love to talk about. But I also love to talk about things that are so much deeper than that. This show is an invitation into a non-performative way of looking and using and understanding who you are through the magical eyes of astrology. Instead of it being about becoming anyone, it's about being who you really are and remembering the power that already is within you. You've been looking around, but you are the savior you've been looking for. And I'm just here to remind you. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening today. If today's conversation sparked something in you, I would love to invite you into the sanctuary. This is more than an astrology community. It's a place where your curiosity becomes your practice, a space to explore your birth chart, deepen your spiritual journey, and continue remembering who you are and why you're here. Inside, you'll find interactive astrology tools, monthly guidance, live conversations, and a community of women walking this path alongside you. You can learn more through the link in the show notes. But until next time, remember who you are.